Hello, my name is Teresa Fogelberg and I am the Deputy Chief Executive of GRI, the Global Reporting Initiative. Before I joined GRI, actually before GRI came to the Netherlands, I was National Director Climate Change for the Dutch government and head of delegation. So coming to the COP is almost like coming home, but now from the perspective of business, civil society and labor unions, and in the past from the perspective of governments.
Today is Human Rights Day. Why should we sit up and take notice about this getting into a deal or not?
Well, yes, everybody talks about degrees, about forests, about biodiversity, but we sometimes forget that it's about the future of our grandchildren. And if we don't go to the hearts and minds of the people that inhabit this planet, we won't get anywhere. So we need to get credibility to the people, and we need to explain that for instance, the huge amount of money that's being invested now in climate makes sense to their lives, to their survival, and to their grandchildren. And there the key word is human rights. That's why I'm so happy that today is Human Rights Day. And there are instruments out there. You have the UN Human Rights Commission that has developed not only guidance for governments how to act in a human rights friendly way if you deal with climate change, but also for business, and that's really important.
How exactly would that play out in a deal? We hear the phrase human rights, but what does that really mean to the person in the Ecuadorian Amazon or in China, for example?
Well, first of all, we need mitigation and adaptation, because for thousands, millions of people, they are already suffering today. So it is about human suffering. So both the UNFCCC, as well as the individual governments in all those countries, as well as cities and business, have to demonstrate that they care about the future of these people. So this is very concrete. It's about competition between business use of water and community use of water. So you have to have some kind of guarantee when you talk about avoidance of further CO2 emissions, and then when you talk about adaptation, that these daily survival human rights issues are on board.
It's also relevant in the context that if we need to get to 2C at short notice and we can plant lots of trees, for a crude example in the Amazon, this could trample on the rights of indigenous groups, for example, and it's how we marry these concerns. That's how I understand it. Is that?
Exactly. And for business, this means that in their daily activity they have to demonstrate, and they will be held accountable, what they do to engage with local communities, either if they are employees or if they are competing for natural resources.
Well, you mentioned holding businesses to account, but we know over 180 countries have submitted so-called INDCs or national plans. Is there any mechanism to keep them to their promises?
Well, we hope that 2 days from today there will be an agreement with some kind of mechanism that will track those INDCs, those national targets.
Is it going to be robust?
Well, first of all, we don't know if there's going to be an agreement for a kind of mechanism on monitoring and reporting. If that mechanism will be there, I have full trust that it will be robust, because we have organizations like GRI that have 15 years of experience of already reporting and measuring the contribution by business to climate change. If there will not be an agreement on Saturday, then, I would suggest, of course, we can wait till Marrakesh next year, but in the meantime we can use something like a proxy, because with GRI we already have climate change reporting data from 6,000 companies from 95 countries in the world. So that information is already sitting there. So if you put those pieces together, you will get, well, of course, you won't have a robust formal mechanism of the UN, but you will have some kind of proxy that will show what business is doing to contribute to this.
I'm interested in this new era of big data, so to speak, or satellite communication. We can track to 25 hectares tree cutting in the Amazon, so more and more digital technologies are making it easier to circumvent states and to map this. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, but I mean, data means it can be rubbish in and rubbish out. So you need a system through which you can have a validation of those data, and more importantly, even you need a kind of multi-stakeholder legitimacy around those data. That you know that both governments, civil society, labor unions, and business themselves agree that this is a robust system of tracking those data and storing them, and then you have legitimacy, and then you can help to track what is happening with the outcome of Paris.
Teresa, thanks very much for your time.